Hard work and being a team player are excellent qualities. But if your goal is to push a major initiative through your company or enact sweeping social change, those traits alone won't get you there. According to Stanford professor Jeffrey Pfeffer, power is not a dirty word. It is a strictly neutral mechanism. A scalpel can be used by a mugger to cause harm or by a surgeon to save a life. The tool itself has no morality, only the person wielding it does. Grab a pen and a blank piece of paper. We are going to build your personal power blueprint using Pfeffer's 7 rules. Before we write anything else, lock in your target. At the top of the page, write down one massive, specific goal you want to achieve right now. Now, look at that goal. To reach it, you have to stop worrying about making everyone like you. Prioritizing universal approval over objective influence guarantees you will stay exactly where you are. Here is your blank slate. The first phase of this strategy requires mastering your internal game. Step 1 begins inside your own head. Write down the biggest internal limiting belief you hold. Perhaps it's imposter syndrome, or a fear that you aren't ready for a leadership role. Now, draw a heavy line straight through it. If you walk into a room believing you don't belong there, your posture, tone, and hesitation will broadcast that doubt. The people around you will pick up on those physical cues and mirror your lack of confidence right back to you. Step 2 looks outward. Identify one accepted workplace norm or process that slows you down, and write down a plan to bypass it this week. The rules of any institution are written by the people who are currently in charge, specifically to maintain their own authority. You cannot force systemic change by politely following the guidelines designed to prevent it. Real influence starts the moment you refuse to be restricted by artificial barriers, whether they were planted in your mind or built by the establishment. Now that the internal hurdles are cleared, we move to the outward expression of power. This is about exactly how you physically show up to claim your goal. For step 3, commit to a 15% stretch. Write down one specific physical or verbal habit you will change in your very next conversation to project more authority. Look at this comparison. Reading from notes and using filler words signals low status. Standing upright, maintaining strong eye contact, and speaking in short, clear sentences signals control and confidence. Because objective competence is actually very difficult to measure in real time, people rely on proxies. In the modern corporate world, appearance is reality. If you look and sound capable, people will immediately assume you are. For step 4, draft a one-sentence personal brand statement. This should dictate exactly what people will say about your work when you aren't in the room to defend it. Think of a leader who holds a meticulous standard and refuses to compromise. That specific, meticulously crafted narrative commands attention and respect, completely bypassing the need to be perceived as a nice person. If you do not actively project competence and forcefully define your own narrative, an organization will default to ignoring you. With your presence established, we need to build structural leverage. This comes down to exactly who you know and what resources you control. For step 5, write down the names of 3 distant acquaintances, what sociologists call weak ties. Make a plan to contact them this week with a specific offer to help them. This dense network shares the exact same information and viewpoints, creating a closed loop that limits growth. To gain leverage, distant acquaintances act as bridges. They connect you to new groups, pulling in fresh data and resources you would otherwise never see. For step 6, identify one small resource, budget, or decision you currently control. Decide exactly how you can use it today to help a key supporter or completely remove a roadblock for your team. Power operates like a muscle. It is a use it or lose it asset. Hoarding your authority without actively deploying it to get things done renders it completely useless. Your structural leverage relies entirely upon this continuous, active exchange of favors and critical information across a wide, diverse network. Executing these steps requires you to break norms and act assertively. That will inevitably generate friction, pushback, and criticism from people comfortable with the status quo. To handle that friction, we reach step 7. At the bottom of your blueprint, write down your absolute, ultimate metric for success. This brings us to Pfeffer's most controversial rule. Success excuses almost everything. Human nature is inherently drawn to money, authority, and achievement. When leaders deliver massive results, the public and the market rapidly forgive or simply forget the aggressive tactics used to attain them. The victory overwrites the friction. Prioritizing raw performance and objective outcomes over staying universally liked provides the ultimate insulation for anyone stepping into a position of authority. Take a look at your completed page. You now have 7 actionable steps to build and sustain your own leverage. It's time to put this into practice. Take that 15% stretch you wrote down for step 3 and apply it to your very next meeting. Hold eye contact just a fraction of a second longer than you normally would. Speak more concisely. Test the waters of your new influence in real time. Knowledge is useless without action. If you want to see positive change in your organization or the world, you must pick up this neutral tool and put it to work for a good cause. True power is the deliberate choice to stop waiting for permission and start shaping reality yourself.